It workers, what is the most disturbing things you have found when going through an employee's computer? This guy was awkward and quiet, and kept to himself. He was tall, skinny, and pale, and always wore dark clothes. He had a password protected Word document that he had been seen working on constantly. After he left, his boss wanted to make sure there weren't concerns of data theft or whatever, so we removed the password and opened up the document. Turned out it was a vampire novel. All of us in the office were vampires, and he was killing us off one by one. As another user posted, "We don't go through your computer. It's considered super unethical, and if I ever found out one of my people were doing that, they'd be reprimanded at the least. However, you do run into situations." The porn addict. I had a repeat customer that would load his computer up with viruses/malware, and about every 3 months, bring it in to be cleaned. It took ages to transfer his data because he had a 100 GB collection of carefully categorized porn. And this is pre-Saturdays, so the transfer would take hours. One day he brought it and I opened up a browser to attempt to download some malware cleaner in the hope of not reformatting. His homepage was MySpace, and it opened up to the account of a 16-year-old girl. This man had no children. He had set up a MySpace page, put some girl's photo as the profile, then wrote dozens of sexual blog posts on her homepage. She was friends with a lot of teenage boys in the area. I told my boss that either we fired him as a customer, or I was calling the police. To make things worse, he was a prominent member of our community and had served on our hospital board for years. The realtor brought her laptop in for something and dropped it off. I plugged it in and powered it up. Desktop wallpaper was a picture of her, completely nude and spread eagle on her bed. Normally after I fixed a PC I would leave it on to demonstrate to the customer it was working. With that one I just handed it back to her in the bag. Adolf. This one is just a little odd. Sometimes I have to ask users their password if I'm going to be fixing their computer while they're away. One particular unsuspecting coworker told me their password was Hitler88. Haven't looked at him the same since. The Russian. One of my old bosses complained that his computer was acting funny. Long story short, it turned out someone had been roping into his computer from an IP address geolocated to Russia. The hacker had even created their own Windows profile. In the hacker profile, the only thing they had downloaded to the desktop were lots of pictures of US money and bikini-clad Russian models. Had a Russian dude hack my Ubisoft account. He didn't change the password or any of my information. He used it to play Ghost Recon Wildlands. Didn't even delete my save. Made his own profile and everything. It was the most polite hack I've ever seen. If he would've changed my default language to English, I might've just let him keep playing. Didn't really go through it, but one of the employees had a pic of his GF in a bikini as his wallpaper, which was weird anyway as it was a shared PC, and he kept going on about her waiting for my comments. Anyway, he showed me another folder full of pics of her, all had their head cropped out, which was weird. Turned out they were all of a female co-worker who he was cheating with. 1. 5 GB or so of morbidly obese naked women sitting on pizzas. Yup. No. There's no context or further explanation. When I was doing help desk for an MSP, I got a ticket to help some doctor with his computer running slow. I called the doctor's office. A front desk girl picked up and told me, "Oh yeah, you can remote into his computer. Here's with a patient." So I remoted into the doctor's computer using a tool called Cassia, which, at the time, didn't inform the user that someone is remoting in. My screen was immediately filled with two dudes hardcore ducking each other. Thankfully my remote session didn't have sound. So many times I've remotes into another work PC with porn videos playing. Multiple jobs with different company, but someone is always watching porn. Employee left the company. Asked the colleague to ask us it to retrieve and delete all her personal photos from the computer. What I found was not disturbing, but just NSFW private photos. About 60 GB worth. Some solo work. Some with multiple guys, up to 10 I counted. She was also exhibitionist. Problem was that I had to go through all the folders, since she had her personal and work related folders mixed and very unorganized. Basically I was watching porn at work, Before I did this, I informed our hours though on what I found and what I'll be doing, just so I couldn't get in any trouble. I worked as a call center help desk agent for a government agency a few years back. Only once did I ever find inappropriate stuff on them. It was when I remoted into a PC and found his desktop wallpaper was a thoughtfully arranged collage of women in thongs showing their butts. The only thing the guy said was, "Yeah, I know you looking at them big booty bitches." Apostrophe. I know people are posting about porn and stuff, but for me, it was a desktop. The desktop had more files and folders than could fit into the screen. Someone had created a shortcut to the desktop folder and stuck it into the taskbar. The user would still open files from the desktop and only check the folder shortcut if she couldn't find them. I've never found anything worse inside of a computer. Only disturbing if you think about it, but recently an employee quit. On their last day they turned in their laptop. On their desktop was a folder with scans of their driver's license, credit card, social security number and some other personal data type shit, like an apartment lease and a utility bill or something. They basically gave me everything I'd need to commit pretty serious fraud with their identity. I then wiped the machine. I thought about emailing their personal account to scold them for leaving such important data on a work computer, but decided against it. Role reversal. It guy gets caught being a duckhead by his wife. So this guy works for his mom and pop at their shop. He helps fellow employees out with their PCs when they have issues. Now he was also trying to start his own business and work late at night on his business while wifey was asleep. Well, one day he isn't home and she is having trouble with her laptop. So she uses his instead and ends up finding folders full of porn. As she looks closer, she realizes she recognizes some of these people. It was her hubby's coworkers. He was stealing nudes of his coworkers off their computers that he would fix for them. As she kept digging, she found a bunch of naked dudes, and to the point where she realizes he hasn't been working on his business, he was supposed to be getting off the ground. He's having sex chats with people and swapping nude pics. They ended up getting divorced not too long afterwards, and his parents ended up firing him after she told them what he was doing. She didn't want to tell them, but as they kept harassing her because of the divorce, she finally told them the truth. I guess he came clean and was let go by his folks. Employee's hard drive was full, which is odd cause we don't save locally. Took a look and he has a folder in his documents called new folder, which was like 80 GB worth of stuff. Opened it up and found so many videos of him and his wife. Most of the juicy stuff is porn related and workers cheating with each other. The cheaters always seem to get caught somehow and usually end in divorce, leaving the company, or both. You see people spending their time streaming Netflix and Hulu sometimes. The best one was someone brought me their female personal laptop to set up for a remote session, and when I opened their browser all of the bookmarks were for gay porn. She really didn't seem to care that I saw it either. Oh, and some other older weirdo had a profile full of girls in bikinis, like cropped out from ads and shit you would find for Walmart or whatever. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.